right. Good evening, good evening, good evening. How is everybody doing tonight? I hope everybody is doing well. Ah, it is Friday. Weeks are flying. I'm telling you what, the year's almost done. We're that much closer to the winter solstice, and then the days will start to get longer, which are awesome. When they start getting longer, I like that. So let's get it. Let's get the winter. Let's get it over with and go from there. It's going to be interesting to see how things are down here over the course of this winter, but we will be fine. We will be fine. So I was looking at a couple different things, and I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen, how it's going to go down yet, and all that. Nope, no snow down here yet, JJ. No, I think we're missing. We're not. We don't have anything in the forecast as far as snow. I know next week, just before Christmas, is supposed to get. We're supposed to have a few days of really, really cold weather. So we'll see what happens at that point in time. But right now, will your solar run a deep dug well pump? Yeah, okay. So good question, and I do want to address that. My solar system in New York runs the well, and that's 140 feet deep. So yes, and that's 120 volt. That's not 240. So yes, solar system can run a deep well pump, no issues. I've had no issues with that. We've been doing that up in New York, going on 9 years. So, and all of it's been off solar from the very, very beginning. Well, we didn't have the well, but we had the well there, but we didn't get it going for the first year and a half. So 7.5 years up in New York, we've run the well off of solar. So, but that's a good question. I'm glad you asked that. So yes, so down here, the solar system will be able to run the well once. I don't know how deep it's going to end up being. We're going to have to see what happens with that. But so hopefully, I'm actually going to call them because we are 2 weeks into the 3 weeks that he said it would be before we started getting this well going. But yeah, so we'll see what happens. All right. Before we jump into anything here, I want to remind everybody this is a very family friendly oriented channel. I would ask you all to please be decent with each other. No racism, no nastiness. If you cannot follow those very simple, easy rules, those awesome people that you see lit up in blue will boot you out of here because we are not going to tolerate it. It's very simple. So, and I had a troll come around today, and he got blocked right away. It's the same one. It's the same person. Not so bright, I don't think, and comes off with the same drivel all the time. And so he just, when he makes a new account, he gets blocked and ignored. I'm not going to address his things that he says. Yeah, I honestly, truly don't get it. I really, truly don't get it. You know, why so this is what I really truly don't understand and with trolls, and we're just going to touch on this. I'm not going to go on any kind of troll rant and say what anybody said because it doesn't make any difference. But here's my thing: there's some channels out there that I don't care for. I'm not going to mention which ones they are because it doesn't make any difference. But there's channels out there that I don't care for. So guess what? I don't watch them. I don't go on their channel and make any kind of negative comments. Nothing like that. Nothing. Because why? You know, I have better things to do with my life. I have better things to do to spend my time with. So I think these people, to be honest with you, a lot of them are very sad and unhappy people. So really what we need to have for them is pity because they don't deserve anything else. They try to get the rise out of you and do all that type of stuff, but all they really do deserve is pity because they're pathetic. So that's just my take on that. So but anyway, all right. So uh, oh, that was an interesting one. Let's Oh, I like that. That's funny. Yeah, it's it's just I don't know. I just, like I said, personally, I just don't get it. I have better things and better ways to use my energy. So, all right, and every YouTuber out there has them. So it's not like it is like some new thing, and I'm the only one that it's happening to. It's happening. It happens to every single one of them. The most successful. Oh, look what happened to Sean James, guys. He had a neighbor that was the biggest tool in the world, and he ended up selling that property and buying something further north and deeper into the woods to get away from that person. I mean, how sad is that? That person would take that much time and energy to waste on doing that. Jay says, on the pavilion, are you using pressure treated or rough cut lumber for the post? It is rough cut lumber, Jay. No, no, wait. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. No, it's not. The posts are pressure treated because Eric actually bought the post, and we went to Lowe's and picked them up. So Ed, the Smithsonian shows the Doomsday Prepper series. Interesting timing. Yeah, that is interesting timing. That is very interesting timing. But all right, so the topic. What are we at? 209 in the chat, guys. We only got 77 thumbs up so far. So if you have not shot that thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do so to show support for the channel, and I thank you ahead of time for that. Also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would also ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. So, all right. But anyway, I will tell you one more thing here, and then we're going to get into this topic. So, I've been meaning to get a bed down here for Hella because the bed she had as a puppy, she outgrew that pretty quickly. And so she's been sleeping. She sleeps at the end of my bed, and she's been sleeping on a rug. And I'm like, you know what? As we're getting into this colder weather, which the colder weather's coming, I wanted to make sure that she had a good bed to lay on to sleep on. So I went out today and I picked her up. It's good for a dog up to 90 pounds. So she's about 85 pounds. And so, we are getting plenty of snow here in northern Michigan. I'm very happy for you, Dawn. I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you're enjoying it. So, I had somebody in the comments, and a lot of times I like to address the comments on my live streams because it's just a little bit easier. So, somebody had asked me, again, why West Virginia, and I've already gone over that many, many times. Why West Virginia? So I don't really feel like I need to go over that again. But there was many, many reasons of why West Virginia. So, uh, just a lot of positive reasons to be down here. Still get to change the seasons, which I do, believe it or not, I do like the change of seasons. I just don't like it when winter lasts for 6 months sometimes, and that happens in New York. It doesn't like to let go, and you can get a cold streak, and then you got snow on the ground, and it's there for the entire time until the spring comes, and But yeah, but anyway, um, solar wind in South Texas. Have you ever been to my channel? I have not. I have not been over to your channel. The UK just endured 2 weeks of -8 weather, very unusual for supposedly warming up for this weekend. Yeah, that's that's a little bad. I never did get my plaque. No, I have not. I haven't really pursued it because I think it would be cool to have. And if I get it, I'll probably put it like right here on the wall. I would definitely do that. I got to email somebody. I have other things that are higher priority than worrying about that, to be honest with you. So, no, the PO box is not the same PO box anymore. So the PO box, if you look at any one of my videos, the description in any of my videos since I've come down here in April, I have the new PO box down here in West Virginia. I actually closed out the PO box in New York just because 12 inches dumped on your New York homestead. says the Weather Channel. Actually, I've talked to Becky today, and they got maybe an inch of snow up there. So I have not skirted the trailer yet. No, I have not. So, but yeah, it's just like I said. It's that's one thing I definitely. I owe you a flag. Get you one after Christmas. Okay, Ann, that's cool. Thank you. So, but yeah, anybody wants to send anything down to me, it would be to the West Virginia Post Office box. So, no, I don't need any. I'll tell you what, I will hold off on the snow as long as the snow wants to hold off down here. I am more than happy to not have to deal with the snow. Now, here's so I get a lot of conflicting things that people say about where I'm at in West Virginia. I am at a higher elevation in West Virginia, so we would get snow up here more so than anybody down in the valleys, which is true. But I've talked to a lot of the neighbors here, and they say that a lot of the winters they get hardly anything, and then other winters they'll get hit hard. You know what I mean? And then it's going to be what it's going to be, but it's just we're going to deal with it. So this is going to be my first winter down here in West Virginia. So I will see how it goes. I will make adjustments along the way as I am here, and we'll see what happens. Hey, Mountain Girl, upwards of 2 feet predicted here, but we're bordering Canada and we are used to it. Yeah, that's a lot of snow. That's a lot of snow. Well, good luck with that. I know you're prepped and ready, so I know you have no worries that way. I always have to laugh when I don't know. I have to laugh when people, I've dealt with winter my whole life. I'm a New Yorker, lived in New York most of my life. I spent, some time in the military. I also spent some time down in North Carolina after I got out of the military. But for the most part, for my entire life, I have been in New York. So winter is not anything that's going to be any kind of surprise to me. So, whatever we get here is not going to be like a New York winter. That's a fact. So, because we're that much further south. So I don't get where people, get themselves all worked up. So, but anyway, to the long-term preppers that have extra gear, give preppers starting out. Well, here's the thing with that. It's funny and that's a good thing to do. Absolutely, it's a good thing to do. There's going to be a ton of people in reality, they're going to be in great need when the time comes. A lot of people, because they haven't got a clue. They haven't got a clue. So, um, if you are prepared enough and ready enough, you're going to be just fine. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's amazing to me. It really, really, truly is um, how truly unprepared so many people are. And I have my cold weather gear here. I am ready to do what I have to do. I'll get through. If we have a stretch of cold weather, we'll get through it. It's just what's the choice? What are the options? It's not like I'm going to run and go stay a couple days in a hotel. Not going to happen. So, but all right. So let's talk about the topic of this video. Are you prepared to do what you need to do in an SHTF event to survive? And so that was a loaded question in there, and I will tell you why it's a loaded question. A lot of you can get on here in the chat and tell me what you will and will not do right now. Well, I won't. Like when I talked about places, I did the video talking about places that you could scavenge for supplies in a post event. And I had a few people that said, oh, well, I'm not stealing. I'm not going to do that. That's not, I would never do that. My moral conviction or whatever their convictions are, I won't do that. Don't ever say never. Don't ever say never. If you are in a situation, here's it's so easy. It's so easy to sit here right now, okay? And it's easy for me to sit here and say, well, I won't do this, and I won't do that, and I won't do the other thing. And why is that easy for me or any of us watching this to say that right now? because our bellies are full. We have a roof over our head. We have plenty of food. We have plenty of other entertainment, be it YouTube, be it television, be it sporting events, whatever you're into. Uh, those distractions are there. There's plenty of alcohol. There's plenty of drugs. Whatever you're into, it's out there in abundance right now. Okay? But here is the reality. And this is why I did it the way that I did it. Not one of us can say with 100% conviction of what we will and will not do in a post event. All right? Because we're not hungry. We're not desperate. Our children aren't hungry. Our children aren't looking at us to make the decisions to get them food or not get them food. So for all of you that'll say, well, I won't do this or I won't do that, that's great in theory. In theory, that's great. But until you are faced with that situation and you haven't eaten in a week and somebody has something that you need or you want, you will, your thought pattern will be a whole lot different because of that. Now, one of the things one of the things that I had talked about in the other video that I did was be careful because there will be people wanting to stop you from taking stuff, which is 100% true. It's going to be way worse than people think. There's been several movies. Anybody watched the movie Blackout? I don't know if anybody saw the movie Blackout. Well, in the movie Blackout, there was a scene where they were fighting over a can of vegetables. Two guys were fighting over a can of vegetables. And I think the one guy ended up killing the other guy to get that can of vegetables. That, my friends, is reality. That's reality. The reality is, in a true SHTF event, desperation and desperate people. I've talked about this before, and I'm going to mention this again right now. The scariest person, the scariest person in an SHTF event is not your Green Beret. It's not your highly trained individual. It is the person that is afraid and desperate. Because if somebody is afraid and desperate, they have nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. Uh, you know, it's just when somebody has nothing to lose, they don't care, and that's scary. Especially if you're in the position of having something to lose. What are you going to do to keep what you have? So that those are things that, excuse me, I really want you guys to think about. You know, I do have an advantage being up here on the high ground. You can see what's coming. And that is Mountain Girl. Why? One of the reasons why I picked the location that I am at, because I control the high ground. Controlling the high ground is very, very important. And a lot of people don't understand that, and they never will understand that. But in order to get to me, they're going to have to come up and come uphill a long, long way. So, it's not going to be easy. Where, like, if you were on a flat plane, how easy is it to get to you? There's no effort, no hardships. But out here, trumping through the woods, yeah, beautiful property to boot. Exactly. I'm very, very blessed with this property. Very, very blessed. And I picked it very strategically. Uh, you know, Obviously, there's a lot of work that has to be done down here. Yes, Sun Tzu, The Art of War. That's a good book. And if you read that, there's so many things that can be done, you know, and down a bad muddy road, pure blood prepper. Hey, you know what? Give me time. Give me time. That road will get better, But yes, never trust a person that is desperate. They will do whatever they have to do to get what they need, especially if you are looking, if they have their children looking to them to provide. And I don't know about any of you, but I think I think a lot of you would probably feel the same way I do. I would do whatever I had to do to feed my children. Now my children are grown, but guess what? They're still my children, okay? And I would do whatever I had to do to feed my children, period. So, you know, that's well, oh my, it's funny. There's a saying that I like to say now. I said I've reached an age where life in prison is not scary. That's not a deterrent. Once you reach a certain age, that's not a deterrent anymore. Because oh, what, you're gonna have to take care of me in my old age? Oh no, please. I plan on being around a long time though, so I'm not going anywhere. But these are things that I want people to think about. Okay, um, I want you to really think about the fact that desperate people will do desperate things. Somebody that you felt like you might have been able to, you know, trust, maybe you can't trust them. It's hard to make those decisions. It's really really difficult. So once again, and I will mention this, and I will continue to mention this because I think it's this important. Having a group of people that you can trust is going to be paramount for your survival in an SHTF event. I'm going to run some things by you with this, and I want you to think about these things, okay? Because I think it's so important. When you have a true SHTF event, and if you have a group of people, what are the advantages? Let's say you got 20, 25 people. Let's just use that number, okay? What are the advantages of having that many people? And we'll talk about some of the drawbacks, okay? We'll talk about some of the drawbacks. So, some of the advantages of having that many people is that you have safety in numbers, because the bigger your group is, the less likely a wandering band of 3 or 4 people are going to come along and try to take your stuff, because they're not going to. They're going to realize that's not the place that they want to go, and they're going to move on to easier targets, right? So that's important. Another thing that is an advantage of having safety numbers, or I mean, having a larger group, getting things done. So if you have to build defensive positions, if it's you and one other person, how long is that going to take? But if you have, a group of 20, 25 people, you can work in shifts. These guys work for a couple hours, they stop, the next group goes in and they work for a couple hours. How fast could you get a defensive position in place that way, right? Way, way better. Okay, so the other advantage of having a large group, and I'm like I said, I'm just going to give you a couple, and then I'm going to give you some deterrents of having a large group. All right. So another advantage of having a large group is if somebody gets hurt, you are going to be able to let them recover. They're going to be able to have that time to heal up properly without having to get out there before they're physically or mentally ready and get hurt again. So if they are in that position and and they get hurt, you can go, okay, well, listen, sprained an ankle, going to need some downtime. That's fine. So they're on, they could still do different things like man a watch and stuff like that, but they're not going to be able to walk around and do those type of things or do, other things. So you're going to give them an opportunity to heal up. So I'm going to talk about a couple deterrents. I'm going to give you 2 deterrents of having a large group. No, number one would be amount of food that you're going to go through. But with proper planning ahead, you should be okay, even with a large group, for a while to be able to wait till the next harvest. Because the key to survival in a true SHTF event, folks, is getting through the first winter. And I don't care if it's a winter in the north, I don't care if it's the winter in the south. You got to get through until the crops come out and you can forage wild edibles, whatever the case may be. You got to get through that winter months, especially if you are in the Northeast. We're talking, it could be really, really bad. So having enough food, and again, with proper planning, that's not going to be a problem with a large group. But with a large group, you're absolutely um, going to go through a lot more food than if it was a smaller group. So that's the one thing there. What other disadvantage of having a large group? Possible infighting, right? Somebody feeling like, whatever the case may be. But if you have planned accordingly and have worked things out and weeded out, I like to call them the non hackers. And a lot of times the non hackers weed themselves out. Okay, they do. So, um, but if you have a group of people that have been working together 6, 8 months, a year, 2 years, you build that trust and that bond and that brotherhood and sisterhood. So you're probably not going to have those type of issues because you've been working together for a long period of time. And so that's another. So there's another advantage of having a group too. When you have that community and that group of people, there's that bond and that trust, and you're relying on each other. And so, yeah, chemistry. Chemistry is going to be key, John, because one sour grape can ruin the whole batch. You know what I mean? A one bad apple, like remember they say, can ruin the bunch. You have to figure out who's going to be a good fit, who's not going to be a good fit, and so the ones that are not going to be a good fit are going to have to go. Um, I will tell you this right now, and I talked about this with my group very, very, very early on. There will be an attrition. You will have people that will come in. They'll be part of the group for 6, 8 months. And then they'll realize in their own mind, this is not what I want to do. This is not what I thought it would be, or whatever delusion or fantasy they thought being part of a group was going to be. And they're going to be gone. And then you're going to have the other people from day one that were committed. They look at the big picture, they realize the importance of it, and they're going to be there for through thick and thin, and that's just as important. But you got to figure out, yeah, better have a big latrine. Well, there's the other thing, Bob. If you got a big group, yeah, you're going to have more waste, but you also have the man and woman power to dig good deep holes to use as that latrine. So yeah, that's a big part of it. There's so many aspects of it, guys, that yeah, you can't dig deep in Florida. No, no, but yeah, you would definitely need to have multiple latrines. Yep. So let Mark Melton. He says just like dating, you're finding out it, and it is. So when you're dating, what are you doing? You're meeting this person. You're deciding, do I like them? Do they like me? Can we get along? Am I interested in having a long term relationship with this person? Being part of a group is the same thing. Can I get along with these people? Do I like these people? Are these people that I feel will have my back when the time comes? And that's important. And here's the thing is just like any family, you're not always going to get along. You're not always going to get along. But you know what? If you're going to have your differences. You're going to have things that piss you off or whatever. But to be able to work things out, to talk to each other, to have that communication, just like in a relationship when you're dating. If you don't have that good communication, a relationship is never going to work out. That's one of the things that amazes me, to be honest with you. What amazes me, my thing is always this: if I have a problem with somebody, all right, if there's somebody that I have an issue with or whatever the case may be, I'm going to talk to them. I'm going to take them aside. I'm not going to try to embarrass them in front of anybody else. I'm going to take them aside and say, what's your issue? Can we work this out? Do you have something against me? Whatever the case may be. I've dealt with that at jobs. I've had to, in a supervisory position, I've had to take people aside, talk to them, and say, "Hey, listen, this is an issue. We got to get this squared away." And maybe they're doing something. I'll give you an example of something that happened to me. Okay, hey, mountain girl, prepare the best you can. Learn skills such as foraging, harvesting, storing, and bush skills. Mental preparation is paramount. Yes, very, very important to be mentally prepared. Thank you very much for the donation. I do appreciate that. And you're 100% right. We need to be mentally prepared to do and know what's going to happen in an event. And it's probably going to be worse than you could even imagine, to be honest with you. So I think that, but I'll give you an example of something that happened. I was working in a nursing home, and this nursing home that I worked in, I won't even say which one it was because they're pretty much a cookie cutter of the other. Uh, had a CNA, and when you would, they had the beds that would adjust. You can go up and down, right? So, you bring the bed up so that you can change the person so you're not bending over. Well, this girl had forgot to put the bed back down. And so I had walked in later, and here's the bed all the way up. Now, if you are 90 years old and you fall off of a bed that is this high from the floor, it's going to hurt. But if it's from the floor and it's up to here, that can do some serious damage to those people. Okay. Now, I should have written her up. I don't like to write people up. That's not what I want to do. I want to educate, I want to teach and stuff like that. So I had said to her, I took her aside. Nobody else knew about our conversation, and I explained to her, look, you screwed this up. You could kill somebody doing this. You really have to pay attention, blah, blah, blah. She did it a second time. Okay. Same person did, not the same resident, but another, same thing, bed all the way up again. So after she did it the second time, I said to her then, if you do it again, I will write you up. You have to pay attention. And she never did it again. She never did it again. But you got to give people a chance. You have to give people a chance. What's up, Sid? So would you eat people too? Well, uh, so that's a loaded question, and we are going to talk. We'll address that. If you are properly prepared, what's up, right? If you're a prepper, and this is what you do, yeah, only the pretty ones, Mark said. If you are prepared and you are truly ready for what's coming, you won't be put in that situation. You wouldn't be put in that situation because you have supplies on site. Eating somebody's not going to be in the equation. Now, I will tell you this: if you live in the cities, let's go with that one. Would you eat someone then? Right? You live in the cities. All the supplies are gone. There's nothing else to eat. You know what? Don't sit here and tell me that you wouldn't eat somebody to survive. I'm sure the Donner Party didn't think that they would have to eat somebody to survive. I am sure that the people that crashed their plane in the Andes, the soccer team, if you remember that movie, right? I'm sure that they didn't plan on eating people to survive. But you know what? When it comes down to life or death, folks, again, you cannot sit here today and tell me what you would or would not do because I can almost guarantee you if they had asked those people that got on that plane, if they had asked them ahead of time, would you eat somebody to survive? Almost to a man or a woman, they probably would have said, "Oh no, I would never do that," because they weren't in that situation. So again, yeah, and they weren't prepared either. Neither one of those situations, obviously, how are you going to be prepared on an airplane, right? And you crash in the Andes in the mountains, you know. Well, Jeffrey Dahmer's a nut job. There's a big difference between that. So, but in order to survive, if you had to do it to survive, you know what? I would like to think that I wouldn't ever be in that situation. I really would like to think that I would never be in that situation. I wouldn't want to have to do that. But if it meant life or death, you do what you got to do. And that's the reality, folks. You know? So if you want to get all on your high horse and say, you know, oh, I wouldn't and I could, there's no way. Now, you know what? I'm going to tell you what. And here's another reality. And you might not like this. I love my dog. Anybody that knows me knows how much I love my dog. I mean, I have such a great relationship with this dog. But if it comes down to it and I needed to survive and there was nothing else, guess what I'm eating? I'm eating the dog. Not that I would want to, I wouldn't want to, but again, let me just say this, okay? Let me just say this. If you are prepared properly, if you are prepared properly, that's not ever going to be an issue that you're going to be confronted with. It's not going to be because you are ready. So if you have enough food, growing supplies, I'll show you what I did today. One of the things I did today, I'll show you here. So love the store, by the way, guys. Okay, absolutely love the store. Rule King, right? Love, love, love Rule King. I got to look at something here. I wanted to see. Uh, yeah, okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. So I was out today stocking up, right? So I am looking. All right, what do I want? What never too early to get ready for the spring for spring planning. So I was at Rule King today, and I picked up a few supplies. Now, one of the things that was and I based a lot of this on from what happened in New York. So one of the things we always were in short supply in New York was radishes. I love radishes. Okay, radishes are something that, and there's different varieties. I got a couple different varieties of radishes. Radishes are a 28-day cycle, which is cool, right? Because it'll say right here on the back. Oh, it says these are maturity. Oh, the bigger ones are 70 days. Let me see what the smaller ones are. Hold on. Okay, the smaller ones are 22 days. So these ones here will be ready in 22 days. So I was even wrong. It's not a 28-day cycle, it's a 22-day cycle, right? The bigger radishes here are a seven. Well, no, I'm sorry. No, no, no. Yeah, those are the bigger ones. This says 28 days to maturity. All right. You can grow and grow and grow and grow and grow radishes. You can get many, many harvests out of radishes. So, to me, it's a great thing to have. And so, what do I got? One, two, three. Oh, that's not radish. Uh, 4, 8. I think I got more in here too. Let me just check. Yeah. But so radishes were one of the things that I was picking up today. Again, planning ahead, right? So I picked up what do I got? 4 and 4, I think. Yeah, four of the one kind, four of the other kind. And guess what? I will pick up more. Love radishes. Okay. Next thing I picked up, I already planted some last year, but I wanted to have more. Asparagus. Asparagus is a perennial. It will come up year after year after year. You really don't want to start eating the asparagus until the third year. Okay. So if you get them growing, you get an area, they'll take over, they'll do what they got to do. I plan on dedicating one full bed just to asparaguses once we get the greenhouses going. But again, you got to have the seeds to be able to grow them. All right. Another thing that I picked up today, and again, this is a nice thing for fat, right? You want to have fat content. So, oh, there's more asparagus. I got a bunch of those. Next thing is I picked up sunflowers. One sunflower plant, you can get a ton of sunflower seeds out of that. And so, yeah, birch trees. Yeah, yeah. But so yeah, sunflower seeds are awesome. So I got 4 packages of those, and there's a ton of sunflower seeds in each one. So we can get a lot of. You get your oils, you get your fats out of the sunflower seeds, and it's a great thing. You can feed them to your chickens or whatever you have. Another thing, I like the sugar snap peas. Really, really like those. So like I said, I just was grabbing some things today, so I picked up 4 packages of that as well. And so yeah, it takes time. It absolutely takes time. Uh, you know, and you got to have things. You know, we have snow in our garden. Yeah, well, I mean, it's not like I'm gonna. And I have about 50 packs of radishes I can give you. That'd be awesome. No, I love, like I said, I love radishes. I think that they're absolutely awesome, and but it's just being properly prepared. And last year up in New York, we had put radishes in, and then I have a ton of stuff in New York, a ton of stuff, and I'm like, how do I not have more radishes? And so that those are things that think about in your brain. I was lacking in this or I was lacking in that. And like sunflower seeds, that's an awesome thing. You can grow them, get them going, and it's going to be a really, really good thing. I say sunflower seeds for the wild turkeys that feed here. And again, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, there's so many different uses, Mountain Girl, that you can use them for. especially in a post event. One sunflower, you get a head of a sunflower, it's that wide, it'll have hundreds of seeds in it, hundreds of seeds, one plant. So, you take, even if you just took one head and save that one head just for reseeding, and then harvest the rest and use them for whatever you need to use them for. So, it's just with proper planning, thinking ahead, planning, you're never going to be in a situation where you would have to eat anybody. And I hopefully will never be in that situation. I will hopefully never be in a situation where I would have to eat my pets. I don't want to be in that situation. Okay. Now, I'm going to tell you what, there are people out there that would not be able to eat their pet. Guaranteed 100% would not be able to eat their pet. And like I said, I love my animals, but my survival would be coming first no matter what, in the people that I care about, obviously. But so those are things. Actually, I'll show you something else too. Again, planning ahead, right? New chains for the Husqvarna. I have 20 inch and I have an 18-inch. So I went today and I picked up a couple more chains for the Husqvarna because, again, when the time comes, no more going to the store, folks. You're not going to the store anymore. All right. Now, another thing I picked up today, and I'll show you here. Actually, I picked up two different kinds because Steve was giving me a hard time. Uh, 45 rounds. Okay. So there are 50 shells in these boxes here. And then these ones here are the punch. It's a different kind. These are full metal jackets. These are not. These are the hollow points. And so they only sell them in 20 cartridges. So, there's, he's like, oh, what? He goes, no hollow points. So I'm like, okay. So I had to pick up some hollow points too. But again, let me just hold on a second, put that back together. Come on. Uh, I'll get that later. Let me put this back. Hold on a second, guys. So again, when you get to when you get the opportunity to pick up stuff, get it, because once again, when SHTF comes, you have what you have, and that's it. So what I'm trying to do now, I picked up a new toy, obviously a 45. Um, I'm like, now I'm in the process of getting that up to, because what is my minimum? This I'll let you tell me in the chat. What is my minimum per round per weapon? What is my minimum that I recommend to you guys? And again, remember, there is no maximum. So once you hit your minimum, thank you very much, Lynn. Good listening. 2,000 rounds. You need to have at least 2,000 rounds per weapon. Per weapon. So if you have two shotguns, right? Let's use that as an example. You need 4,000 rounds. If you have two AR-15s, you need 4,000 rounds minimum. Minimum. There is no maximum. So you need to make sure that you have. Ed, you put out some cash on the ammo today. I'm proud of you. Well, it's a necessary evil, Luke. Unfortunately, it is a necessary evil, and I bought that 45, and I was like, okay, well now, you know, Ed, you need how to learn how to sharpen a chain. Well, yes, and that's a good thing. But having multiple chains, again, one is none and two is one. So if I have four or five chains, I can rotate them through with no problems, and it'll be fine, right? And then I have the sharpening. Actually, I'll show you right here. I have one right here. There's a file right there. So I definitely, being able to sharpen the chains is a good thing as well. I live and die by the 45, Luke says. Well, I'll tell you what. So I got to tell you the 45 story. I had a buddy of mine that had a 45. I actually had two of them. And when I had my other property, not the one where I'm at now, but I had another property where I had 10 acres. and we would go up there and we would shoot. And so I would always bring rifles and he would always bring pistols. And so the one day I said, we were just doing some plink, plink, plink target practice. And I said, well, let's make it more interesting. And he goes, okay. I said, let's set up 3 cans apiece. Each get a 45 and we shoot. And whoever knocks their cans down first wins. He's like, okay. Now, straight dead shooting a target practice with no pressure on, he kicked my behind. 100% kicked my behind. But when it was under stress and under duress and you were basically who does it first, I kicked his butt. I kicked his butt. And then he was like, oh, it's got to be the gun. So we switched guns. And guess what? Same result. And the reason is I don't panic under pressure and never have panicked under pressure. He panicked under pressure. He might have been a good shot, but under pressure, he was not able to handle that situation. And again, it doesn't make me, oh, I'm so superior. I just never have panicked in a situation like that. But anyway, I really liked it's a 1911 45. Really, really liked those guns. And I said to myself, at some point in the future, I'm getting a 1911 45. And I had that opportunity, and I'm like, yep, I'm going to buy this gun. And I bought the gun, and I love it. So now I'm in that process of getting the ammo I bought today. I plan on training with this weekend. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. But that was your nursing skills. No panic. Yeah. Well, I've seen plenty of nurses panic, guys. Um, I've seen plenty of nurses panic, but I just, even in a nursing situation, I never have, just because you can't. You got to deal with the situation. And I've had some situations where you think on your feet, you adapt, you overcome, you do what you got to do, and that's what happens. But anyway, so I have always liked the 45, and I wanted one, so I ended up buying one, and it's so now, like I said, so now I'm in the process of building up my supply of 45 ammo because I had zero before I bought that gun because I didn't have a 45, but so now I do. So I will continue to add up my stores. Not that I don't have a little bit of ammo already. Somebody asked me one time, they said, well, how much ammo do you have? And I couldn't even give you an answer. I have no idea. I have no idea. So, but yeah. So, all right, let's do this. It is egg count time. Look at me, just chatting away here. But egg count time, guys. Let's do that. So, how many eggs today? And yes or no for thick neck. So, I'll give you guys a moment to get your guesses, and we will go from there. And 45 has some really nice stopping power too, just so you guys know. Um, yeah. All right. Let me go back here and look at this again. Give me just a second, guys. I'm not sure how to say this last name, so I'm going to butcher the crap out of it. But the first person that had the right answer was Jesse, uh, CTRV something. I don't even know how to say the last name, Curtive or whatever. But Jesse, she was, I believe it's a she. Probably I'm wrong on that as well. That's what I get for assuming. They are right with one egg and no thick neck today. So, congratulations to Jesse. I can read your first name. I do not know what the last one's supposed to be. There you are, right there. Critter? Oh, Critter Lover. Yes, okay. Critter Lover. Jesse Critter Lover. All right, cool. Gotcha. But I looked at that and I was like, crap, I can't say that last name. But uh, Ed, you need to come this way and stop in a Doomsday Tactical. They have the best prices. All right, I like I said, I wasn't unhappy with the prices at the gun store down here. And again, I love that store. Rule King has whatever you want, and it's just like I feel like a little kid in a candy store. Well, I'll show you something else that I picked up. Where did I put that other thing? Hold on, I'll show you here. Ah. Something else that I believe in a true SHTF event is going to be very, very important. All right, stable, right? This stuff here, this will treat, this one container will treat 80 gallons of gasoline. It will keep it fresh for up to 24 months. You're going to have gasoline, right? But you want to make sure that it's going to be usable. This will help keep your gas for up to 24 months. Now, would I use it right now? No, because I'm rotating through my gas on a regular basis. I want to make sure I continue to rotate through my gas. When it comes to a true SHTF event, whatever gas you have, realize you're probably only going to have so much. This is going to make sure that it lasts for a long, long time because you're going to be using it sparingly. Okay, you're going to use it sparingly, so that's going to make sure that you could use that gas for up to 2 years. So I just dumped the dark brown kerosene out of a torpedo heater to put in fresh fuel. Um, and I hope, yeah, well, there you go. That happens. That happens. Yeah, you want to keep your gas in a cool, dark place if you can. That's very smart to do that as well. But again, do you have an outbuilding someplace that you just store your gasoline and those type of things? Great to have, great in theory, but is that a reality? So again, preparation is a big key to anything. To be honest with you, and again, I don't care how prepared you think you are. There's always going to be mistakes. Always going to learn something new. That's why, like with being down here this winter, right? I'm going to be in West Virginia for the winter. I've already said it. Going to do it. It's going to happen, and we're going to see how it goes. All right. Do I know what it's going to be like down here? Nope, sure don't. I've never been here before. So, I'm going to learn. I want to see how it goes with the solar and if we get some decent days and if we get plenty of sunshine and stuff like that. We got really good weather most of the year. We had days here and there obviously, but a lot more sunshine down here than New York, I can tell you that for sure. And so we're gonna get through this and we're gonna do it. We're gonna learn, and next winter will be better because we'll be better prepared, and that's what it's all about. Any chance for a helicam? I don't know about that. I have to get a GoPro and put it on her, and then we see where she went. Not as much snow, but is New York, but most likely more ice. If that's the case, we'll, like I said, we'll deal with it. But the thing is with that, it's I've been told if they do get snow down here or ice, within a couple days it warms back up and it's gone. So I can live with that. What sucks is when you get storm after storm after storm dumping on you, and the snow's there for months on the ground and doesn't go anywhere. And then you hit those cold patches where it's even worse and it's blowing, and it's not fun. So like I said, we're going to see what happens. And the best way to learn is to experience it, right? That is the best way to learn. So, night, folks. Be safe. Thanks, Ed and the mods. All right, Richard, you have a good night, buddy. But again, this is how we learn, guys. And if I can figure stuff out and I figure out what works and what doesn't work and what I need to correct, adjust, prepare for, that's what I'm going to do. So, We've had 3 bad winters here in 8 years, but it was a month each year. Yeah, so that's if it's a month, I can live with that. I could absolutely live with that. It's just that when it's months upon months upon months. So I don't believe that Hella is pregnant. No, I don't think she is because she's still skinny as could be. And if she was going to have puppies, her due date would be uh, first week of January. So we're 3 weeks, and she's not looking like she's pregnant. So, but yeah, so it's not gonna. I don't think that's gonna be. Yeah, Jerry Lee got fixed like 2 weeks before they hooked up, before they locked up, and I was hoping that he would. You got them porn bots there, JJ? Let's see. Oh, JJ got him. Okay, thank you. I was gonna go and do it myself. Um, but yeah, it's just like I said, you have to learn. You have to figure out what's going to work, what's not going to work, and the best way to do that is to live it, experience it. And so, you know, will hydro work year round here? No, won't work year round. But when the water's flowing 24 hours a day, it's going to produce power. A wind turbine. And somebody had sent me a video to my email, and I can't remember who that was, but thank you very much. But it you know going there was a guy who was doing reviews on wind turbines, and I definitely, before I decide to get any kind of wind turbine up here, I will do my research first to make sure I'm not getting crap. I don't want the cheapest thing that is out there that's not going to produce squat for power. I want something that's going to be I want to get something that's going to be efficient and work and give me the power that I need, to help supplement what I'm not getting from the solar panels and stuff like that. So, but porn bots were for Jerry Lee, right? Um, Mark says, I need to see how far the stream is from the cabin. It's a ways down there, Mark. It's a ways down, but it's not undoable. It's not undoable, so we will have to. We'll have to figure that out. That's again, we're going to have to what the cost is going to be, in what materials we're going to have, and how long of a run and how much power we're going to lose from that run. But water is going to flow 24 hours a day. So as long as that water is flowing, you're going to be collecting power, and even if it's a small amount, that could be helpful. Obviously, especially in the winter months. So those are things that again, we're gonna figure out. We're gonna, yeah, it's at least 300 yards, at least. It's a freaking long way down. Well, not, yeah, probably. It's a long ways down, but haven't heard from Sean in a while. Is he still alive? Sean. I don't know who you mean. Yeah, right. Use a treadmill for the dogs. That would work. Yeah, they like to run. That's for sure. How do I get my internet? Through Verizon. Oh, North Shore Preparedness. Yeah, I haven't talked to him. I have not talked to him. I wasn't sure who you meant when you said Sean. I mean, Sean is that's kind of vague. If you had said Sean from North Shore Preparedness, um, yeah, the last I heard, he was in the hospital as well. So I don't know. Um, I don't know how long. He's been out of commission, so I haven't heard any updates. But yeah, Verizon. I got a business account with them now, and that's worked out really really well. And so that's the upload time is faster, and I get more bandwidth for the month, which is also helpful. And so I should be in pretty good shape moving forward. So that's the game plan. Anyway, so but anyway, so yeah, it's just like I said, guys. The reality, going back to actually the topic on hand that we were talking about tonight, it's very very easy for anybody to say what they would do now. But the reality is, none of us know, myself included, what we are capable of, what we would do in a worst case situation. The best possible scenario that you can do now is put yourself in a position that you don't have to do evil or bad things to survive. So, by being properly prepared, it's like when the people say, well, would you eat a human being? Not if I don't have to. Not if I don't have to. I have no desire to eat another human being. So if I am prepared properly, I won't be in that position. And that's what I'm trying to put myself in a position of. See, now, John, you can say that. He says, I'm not eating people, period. You can say that. And again, like I said, it's easy to say right now, but you are not faced with that situation. You're not faced with that situation. So you can't sit here. Now, okay, maybe you wouldn't, right? Maybe you wouldn't. And I can't say. I can't, you know what I mean? So that's why I will never say, well, I'll do this or I'll do that or I'll never do this or I'll never do this. I want to live. That's the reality. I want to live. I want my children to live. So the reality for me is this. The reality for me is this, and I'll put it this way. I will do whatever is necessary to make sure that I survive, to make sure that my children survive, and to make sure that the people in my group survive. That is what I will say right now. And whatever is necessary means whatever is necessary. So, but with proper planning, again, I'm going to say this over and over again because I really want to drive that point home. With proper planning, you're not going to be in a position where you have to make that type of a decision to eat somebody or not eat somebody. If you have prepared properly, one of the things that I think people are not understanding my bunker series, okay? Right now, it seems like a very monotonous and it's a long process, and it is, okay? But once we are underground and I can put in an underground freezer with no electricity, and I can have an underground area where I can do storage of supplies where it's a completely controlled environment, then maybe some of the people will figure out, oh my God, that's really a good idea. Okay. But anything worthwhile takes effort. And I love the people that say, and again, and I read the comments, I read all the comments, and I love the people that say, well, if you would save a whole lot of time to have a backhoe come in there, dig it out for you, and do it that way, and then block it up and then recover it. Right. And now you've ruined the entire overgrowth area, which will take years and years and years to regrow. If you have an established root system, so somebody asked, well, aren't you concerned about landslides? No, I'm not. And the reason is because it's all overgrown above and it's an established root system. So, you know, Mark says, I bet going sideways will be quicker than going down. I believe so as well. I think it's going to be a lot quicker. But you got to get down to that level first before you can go in. And I have a game plan. I know what I'm doing. And all the people can say whatever they want to say, and that's great. If you're down here and you're digging, that's a whole different thing. I can't get a backhoe in here. If I could have got a backhoe into the spot where I'm digging, I sure would have dug it down to that level. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Yes, I would have done it that way. But not going to happen. Okay. And yeah, clay don't slide. Exactly. Yeah, Mark says, he goes, I don't think people realize how solid the ground is. Yeah, we're not digging in the dirt, folks. I'm not in a construction site where they re-put dirt in and then they try to dig it out and then, oh my God, things collapse. This is not going to collapse. This is not going to go anywhere. Okay. It is a project. It is meant to be in an area that is stealthy. If I dig out a great big hole, everybody's going to see where that great big hole is, right? So if I'm doing it the way I'm doing it, I'm disturbing nothing above. All that's going to be there. The trees, everything is going to be there because we're already well past the root system, and now we're just digging through that hard, complex or compact clay. and it's not fun. It sucks. To be 100% honest with you, not fun at all. But I am looking at the bigger picture of things, and I know what vision that I have and what that can be, and it can be, if these lunatics that run our world decide to go nuclear, we're going to be in a position where we may have something underground to be able to survive, and I think that's important as well. It serves so many purposes that I can't even begin to say. 100 degrees outside, everybody's dying, right? Oh my god, it's so hot, it's ridiculous. Well, go down in the bunker for half an hour and cool off, because guess what, it's going to be 58 degrees year round down in the bunker. you know if it's freezing cold outside, oh my god, it's so terrible, we can't be out here. But guess what, you can be underground, you can work underground. So all right, we're going to do shout outs. I'm like getting way behind here, I'm just like yapping away. This time has flown by tonight too, folks, by the way, just so you know. It's flown by big time. All right, first shout out goes out to Icky Can up in Canada. Really like Icky Can. He's a good guy. I would ask you to please support him. JJ will throw that link up there. Yep, you already did for Icky Can. You have Angry Prepper down in New York City. Jason is awesome. The egg count, Ann, was one egg and no thick neck today. Uh, so go definitely support Jason as well. He's a really good guy. You have Alaska Prepper with Rudy up in Alaska. There is Alaska Granny as well. You have Sean James with the Sean James channel and My Self Reliance, two different channels. Same guy, good channel, a lot of good information. He is up in Canada. You have Corporal's Corner. There is North Shore Preparedness. And there is Bjorn Hansen. You have 80K Man in the Adirondacks in New York. There is Bizariza Jizza, who does the Carrington Chronicles. It's a good story, a lot of good information with that, so definitely check that out as well. You have Marfugal News. There is with Adam and Dax out there in Seattle, so definitely check them out. You have Magic Prepper in North Dakota. There is Wranglestar, who is that's Cody, another good channel, a lot of good information with that. You have the Red Poppy Ranch. There's Survival Lily, Kyle's Cabin. If you saw the latest video from Kyle's Cabin, they got a ton of snow up there in Minnesota. You have Bush Radical and Girl in the Woods, two different channels, husband and wife team. They split their time between Michigan and Alaska. They're doing a lot of cool stuff, and so definitely check them out. You have Green Greg's. There is Southern Prepper 1. You have Gray Man Prepping, St. Bernard Acres with Joe. There's Doug and Stacy, another really great channel. A lot of great information on their channel as well, so definitely check them out. You have the Nomadic Movement, which is down in Panama. Nice young couple down there. They just opened up a coffee shop up in Connecticut as well. You have the Green Dream Project, who is out in Arizona, living out there in the desert. And it's really neat to see what they are doing out there. I got something in my eyes, excuse me. You have Camping with Steve Wallace up in Canada. Does stealth camping, a lot of fun, nice guy. You have Bush Doctor Survival. There is Monkey Works. You have the Needy Homesteader, Boss of the Swamp. He's been around for a long time. I've been following his channel for a long, long time. Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project. Love Diamond. Very, very smart guy. So definitely check out the Oppenheimer Ranch Project. You have Patera with the Appalachian Homestead. There is City Prepper, Lumina Acres. You have Suspicious Observer. You have Bear Independent. There is the Uneducated Economist, Bushcraft Bear in the Canary Islands in La Palma. And I know he's been spending time in Germany as well lately. You have Mary Greeley News giving you all the updates on Yellowstone and all that type of situation. She's really up on everything with that. Really cool to watch her stuff. And she's basically states that they underreport a lot of the earthquakes. And so there is Adapt 2030. You have Malachi's Corner. You have Ice Age Farmer. There is Ryan Hall, y'all. If you want to get your weather, guys, you need to get it from Ryan Hall. He's very, very good, very passionate about the weather. So definitely check him out as well. You have Russell Brand. I love Russell Brand. Russell Brand will make you think. He presents the information. He lets you decide if they're full of crap or not. So he's not telling you what to think. He's not telling you what to do. He presents the information, and then you have a choice. Let's see. You have Deep South Homestead. There is the Outsider. You have the Fit Farmer, Prep Rebel, Simple Life Reclaimed. There is Townsend's, the Prepared Mind out in California. You have Pinball Preparedness, who is in Tennessee. There is East Tennessee Preparedness. You have the Economic Ninja, and then there's Little House Off Gritty. A lot of good channels, and I'm sure there's plenty more that I did not mention, but there's a lot of good information out there. I think that it is important that we look at different perspectives, look at different ways that people look at things. And so please go to these channels that I've mentioned. Tell them Prepper Nurse One sent you over, and check them out. So that's always a good thing. And like I said, it's just there's a lot of good information out there. John says Ryan Hall does great work. Another content creator with haters. Oh, of course. And the thing is, you can't get more genuine than Ryan Hall. I mean, what you see is what you get with Ryan Hall. He's trying to help people. You know, he gives back a ton, gives back a ton, and yet people still hate him. I'm telling you, guys, and I've said this before, and I've said this before. Now they don't show the thumbs down anymore. They used to show the thumbs down. They don't show the thumbs down anymore. But I made this comment a long time ago. People that hate you no matter what. I said I could do a video with having breakfast with Jesus Christ himself, and there would be a-holes out there that would thumbs down that video. It's just the way it is. They're never going to change. So, but that's kind of what happens. All right. So let us continue on. We are Legion because we are many. We're all over the world. We're all over the country. Where is everybody from tonight? So we have BC, Canada with Janet. We have Franklin County, Ohio. We have Waterloo, New York with Sharon. Montreal, Quebec, Canada with Daniel. Very nice. Nowhere, Oklahoma with Okie Forge. But Austin, Texas, Massachusetts. We have Las Vegas, Nevada with Lynn. Messenburg, Pennsylvania with Mark. We have Nebraska, Erin, Tennessee, Spokane, Washington, Connecticut, Verone, BC, Canada with Gypsy Mama Prepper, Greenlee County, Arizona with the Pennsylvania Wilds, BC, Canada once again with Emil. We have Florida, Newfoundland with Emma, Bumstead, Florida, Fort Worth, Texas with Sonia, Somerset, Pennsylvania with Judy, Northwestern Ohio, we have Nebraska with Dog Walker, Charlotte County, Florida, Inverness, Florida with Clyde in the house. Clyde, please say hello to your lovely wife for me. We have Littleton, New Hampshire. There is Somerset, Pennsylvania, Northwestern Ohio. We have Nebraska. We have Oregon in the house, Michigan, East Tennessee with Lena, Western New York with Karen, Boswell, Pennsylvania. So, yeah, I haven't seen Philip in here in the chat recently. We have Wisconsin's in the house with John, Morning Light in West Virginia. So again, yeah, no, I hope that Philip is okay over in Australia there. Christiansburg, Virginia with Frank. Glad to have you here. Southern Connecticut. Communist Delaware. Yeah, there's some places that are not so much fun anymore. But we got Missouri's in the house with William. So again, guys, we're all over the country. We're all over the world. We are a huge, huge network of people. We are the ones that are awake. We are the ones that can try to educate people, try to wake people up. And no, not everybody's going to wake up. They're not always going to listen, and that's okay. But I will tell you this. After an true SHTF event, they'll be willing to listen then. So we got Michigan in the house with Michigan Lifestyle. They'll listen then. And then we'll be teachers because we'll be the ones with the experience, the know-how. We can show people how to survive, regardless of what they think. I think that it's important that we try to help people out. We have Bonnie from Alabama. Roll Tide, Bonnie. Love it. Love Al. I'm sorry. Some of you might not like Alabama. I like Alabama. Great team. So, but anyway, let's just, let us try to work together. I think that it's important that we try to do that. So, floods in Australia where Philip lives. Ah, maybe he's not able to be online because of that. Well, I hope that he's okay. If anybody has any communication with Philip, please let him know that he's in my thoughts. So, Ann Lockie says the key is community, and that's exactly the truth. I'm telling you what, your best chances, folks, for long-term survival in a true SHTF situation is to have a group of like-minded people. So we got Jesse from the UP of Michigan, very nice. You need to have a group of people, like-minded people that think the same way that you do. They may not think exactly like you do, but they're prepping, they're preparing, and I think that that is important. I think that that's hugely important. And if we could ever get to that point, that would be great. The more groups that we can put together, I think the better it is. I really do. And I got to tell you, and I know I keep saying it a lot. I have a really good group of people, really, really good group of people, and we got plans, and we're gonna make them happen. And the best part is the people that want to be negative and say all kinds of negative stuff, they just got to sit there and watch. They're going to watch us be successful. They're going to watch us achieve the things that we want to achieve and do the things that we plan on doing. And that's the best part. That's the best part, because it pisses them off even more, which I think is great. We got Troy from Troutman, North Carolina. Very nice. So, anyway, guys, I want to thank my moderators. They do an absolutely fantastic job keeping the chat clean. Uh, they do an awesome job. So, ladies and gentlemen that moderate for me, thank you so much for what you do. I know I say it in every stream, but it really does mean a lot to me, and I really do appreciate it. I want to thank all you guys for being here because without you guys here, we're not having these chats. So it's a lot of fun. I enjoy them. Tonight just flew by. So a lot of fun, and I always enjoy it. And like I said, I love having you guys here. So thank you all for that. What we need to remember that we are all in this together. We are one race called the human race. And that's the biggest thing that people seem to forget sometimes, but it really is true. We got to stop letting them divide us. They use race, they use religion, they use political affiliation, they use the vaxxed and the unvaxxed. Those are tools that are used to keep us fighting amongst each other so that we will never come together as a group of people and fight the true corruption that is out there, which realistically is big business and the government that want to control every aspect of your life. If they could lock us all down and tell us all what to do, they would be delighted because then we would be the worker bees and they would do nothing but profit off of that. Keep your freedoms as much as you possibly can. That's important, okay? But if we come together, boy, that scares the crap out of them. That scares them. It really does. So, anyway, also remember, folks, to hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. So it's really important that we tell the people that we care about every day how we feel. Last but not least, STD, step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you are trying to do, whatever you are trying to accomplish, you can do it. There's only one person that is going to stop you from achieving your goals, and that is you. That's it, nobody else. If you set realistic, obtainable goals, they will happen. You have to put the effort in to make them happen. Don't listen to those people that tell you what you cannot do and what you cannot accomplish. You can do it. And that's all you got to do. You just got to keep working at that. So, anyway, guys, this has been fun. I've had a great time with this tonight. I've really enjoyed your guys' company. Keep prepping, keep getting ready. I don't begin to say how much time we're going to have, but the more prepared we are for every aspect of what we're doing, it's going to put us in a better position. So, getting those things that you need to have that's going to help you to be successful in a post event is really, really important. Okay. All right. I will see you all later. Have a great night. Prepper Nurse One out for now.